to our stage. Thank you. Rose, it's so good to see you again. And you know, we've done this 3 times already, and every time it just gets better. I'm so excited about your story, Rose.
Thank you.
So thank you. Karibu sana Mavuno. This is Mavuno at 12.
Wow.
At 12 o'clock service.
It's also full again.
Wow. And you know,
Wonderful.
the people who I know you're blessed through your story. And Rose, I mean, you have an amazing story. I've known you for years, but I think it's only now I'm really getting to know your story well. I've known your passion for street children and orphans. I've known those things about you. One thing I didn't know until very recently is that you started tithing from a very young age. Tell us about that.
Okay. I can't talk about tithing without first saying when I accepted Christ, I was 6 years old.
6 years old. Wow.
And I got baptized at age 11. After, of course, going that class. You know, you go through classes.
The baptism class, yes.
Yeah. And then after that, at age 12, I had a sermon about tithing. And it was always saying, you have to give 10% to God. So for me, whenever somebody would give me 10 shillings or even 20, I could calculate, and I knew that 10% was money for Jesus.
Wow.
So I would make sure on Sunday, it goes to,
You
and
take
I've been
your
doing
1
that.
shilling. And you've been doing that
Yes,
ever
all the
since
time.
you're little girl.
Exactly.
I mean, that was very fascinating for me that you learned that as a young age, at a young age. But you know, you had some very interesting things happen. I mean, like I said, your life passion is working with, rehabilitating orphans, children, and you place them in homes. Right now, I think you have 76 kids that you're single, I know, but you have 76 children of your own. God has given you 76 orphans that you've placed with families. You're looking after. 6 of them are in university.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What schools are you sending your kids to?
We have them in different schools. We have some in high school and some in primary. And the ones in university, we have them in Nazarene University, USIU, and Mount Kenya.
Wow.
And we thank God.
That's amazing. I mean, these are kids you found in the street. Some of them high on glue and all that stuff. And now they're university students about to be graduates. That must be very exciting.
Yeah.
How did you start into this passion? I know it didn't start with very positive, just necessarily with very positive things.
Exactly. For me, my dad had an accident at an early age. And I kind of grew up overnight. I'm the firstborn of 4 siblings.
Yeah, just point this to your mouth. Yeah.
Oh, this way. Oh, thank you. I'm the firstborn of 4, we are 4 of us, 4 sisters.
Yeah.
And after this, our life just went downhill.
So your dad had an accident.
Yeah. And
How old were you then? You just finished high
in
school.
my teens, yeah.
So you're a teenager,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Almost finished high school. And
So you couldn't work anymore, couldn't support the
It
family.
couldn't work anymore, it couldn't support the family. And my mom was not working. She was this wonderful housewife.
Yeah.
And I must say, that really brought a lot of things in my mind because I realized money is, of course, money is important.
Yeah.
Because I could see other kids going to nice school, and now I was thinking about my sisters. Lucky enough...
Because you went to a good high school.
Yeah, I went to Pangani High School. Anybody from Pangani?
Yeah, some Pango girls. Hey, there are quite a lot of them in this place.
Yeah, you see, it's the best school in Kenya.
It's a good school, So
Yeah.
you went to Pangani, but then
Yes.
now your sisters couldn't go there because there was no money in the family.
We didn't have any funds. And during that time, I used to go to the missions with Diguna. It's a Christian organization.
A German mission agency.
German mission, yeah. And during that time, I met a dean in this college and his daughter. And just like you said, I think I just got favor with him because we were many in the team. And we would go out and evangelize. But somehow he just zeroed down on me and said, I'd like you to come to Germany in our college, and we're going to see how we can work out a scholarship for you.
Wow. So you got a scholarship.
I got a
to
scholarship.
do your degree, first degree.
Exactly, and that was in theology. So I was lucky, and I got not only the scholarship, but it came with pocket money, and good pocket money.
Yeah.
So what I did is I didn't need the pocket money because I had breakfast, lunch, dinner. I mean, I had clothes, even chocolates, good German chocolates. So I decided, in this case, what do? I have my 3 siblings, and I would like them to have good education. So I began sending that money home. But before I could send this money, it was actually, 150 euros or, Deutschmark then.
It was Deutschmark at the time, yeah.
I would take 15 and just give it back to God. So for me, I saw how God was faithful. It continued.
So you basically helped educate your sisters
Exactly.
through the time you were in school.
Exactly.
Until you're done.
Yeah.
Wow. So and how did this translate into the vision for street children and for orphans?
Yeah, for me, the fact remained, if these guys would support me, and they took me in, actually fostering me, they paid for me in my first degree, and then also when I was doing my master's in Daystar, I did a master's in business administration. They also paid for me, and I thought, why can't I do the same? Give back to the community.
Oh my goodness.
And I was looking for for just the most destitute, not necessarily there must be straight A students, but somebody who is really, really destitute or an orphan.
Wow.
And that's how it began.
So out of this one person blessing you as one person,
Exactly.
you multiply that, and now you're blessing 76 children and counting. To God be the glory.
Amen.
Now, this is exciting for me, just to hear some of your story.
Yeah.
Let me say, yes, please. I appreciate Rose.
Thank you.
I mean, Rose, our vision is that every single one of us has a passion, a calling that God has placed in their hearts, and we need to pursue it. And it's exciting for me that this is such a passion. Ever since I've known you, Rose, you don't speak about that with a straight face. When you speak about your children, you have passion and love. You've looked after these children for many years. Tell me, that whole experience with your dad, what did it do to your view of money?
It made me realize that money is important. And actually, if you have to give somebody an opportunity like education, there's no way it's going to happen without money.
Yeah.
And so what I started doing is, I went back to my grandmother. She's one lady that, when I went to Pangani Girls, she actually bought me the whole uniform. New shoes from Bata Shoes.
Your grandmother?
Yeah, my grandmother.
Wow.
She bought me the tunics from KU, that is Kenya uniform.
Yes.
New. I mean, and I thought she could easily do this without any struggle.
She was loaded.
She was loaded.
And she was a widow.
Yeah, but the interesting thing about her was she actually had rental houses. And the most interesting thing is some of them she had in Korogosho, some in Kayole, and Mailisaba. And to me, that made me start realizing, wow, this lady, she has an income, and in her place there was always food. I mean, we all like to go there. I mean, even during the holidays, it was fantastic, and she did it well.
Yeah.
And I thought, for me, this is what I would like to do. So when I came from Germany, and I had 3,000 shillings, which I gave to her, and we also bought, basically a house which is two-roomed. Until
you
today,
bought a two-roomed house.
Yeah, until today, actually one of my cousins lives in it. It's big, it's spacious, and that triggered in me, how can I get out of all this? I began buying plots, and she actually mentored me.
So you and your grandma would go around buying plots?
Yeah, she's my PE, my personal encourager.
Wow.
Yes. So she would really encourage and say,
what are some of the places she took you to?
Okay, I went to Kamulu, that is on Kangundo Road, and there are so many in Ruai, if you are aware of that area, and Syokimau.
Wow.
And in Lukenya, where I bought also the 5 acres. Yeah. But I began with 40 by 60. These are very small plots.
That's less than an eighth, basically.
Yeah. And those ones were costing 28,000 then. And after 3 years, actually, I could sell them for 180. So you can imagine, that also helped me to buy more.
Yeah.
So
what is your family's response to all this plots? You and your grandma gallivanting to buy plots all over the city. Yeah,
it's interesting now that they are actually, my sisters are the ones who gallivant around. Like, I think here in the audience, I have our last born sister, Mukali, and her husband.
Mukali, are you here? That's Mukali and her husband over there. Let's appreciate them as well. Yeah. They came to support Rose.
Yes. When I think Mukali is a teacher at Logos, a kindergarten teacher. And her husband works with pastors in a mission called CTM.
She's a missionary.
Yeah, he's also a missionary, just like me.
Yeah.
And my other sister actually sells vegetables at the retail market.
Which retail market?
It's called Marikiti.
City Market?
Yeah. Down in
Marikiti.
Down Marikiti.
So she has a big trailer and she brings...
No. She actually buys from people in Meru, and then she comes and resells.
So she sits in Marikiti and just sells to
bananas,
people?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's her main source of the seed that you're talking about today. Yeah. And my other sister and her husband is a mechanic, and she works with in Kazuri beads.
Okay.
As a receptionist.
As a receptionist.
Yeah.
So you're not talking about, because you guys are missionaries. Missionaries don't earn, at least the last I looked, they don't earn a lot of money. Mm-hmm. What's the highest you've ever been paid as a salary, Rose?
I think 45,000.
Highest.
That's the highest.
Not beginning.
Yeah. That's the highest.
That's the highest you've ever earned.
Yeah.
You're saying your brother-in-law is a missionary with
Exactly.
pastors in the slums, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So he's not also like you, not necessarily earning tons of money.
Not
You're saying your
millions.
sister's a teacher in a primary school. Your other your other sister is selling vegetables in a market. Your other sister is a receptionist at pretty much an NGO.
Correct.
In that way. Her husband's a mechanic. You're really talking about people who will not earn huge salaries here. And yet, somehow the Lord has really allowed you to, you say you had an influence on them in their own acquiring of plots as well.
Yeah, and like I said, right now they're the ones who have influence on me because they hear about plots. Like now they had some about on Mombasa Road, Malili, and they told me and I acted fast. So...
In fact, I hear the name your nieces call you is anti-plot.
Anti-plot.
Because you're always... So let's talk about these plots then. Some of them are, you told me about the ones in Ruai, you bought them for about 18,000.
Exactly. And the ones also before then I had bought some, we had actually bought together. My sister, Mukele, and her husband were in the States. So they sent me money and I bought for them. Those plots were in a place called Utawala. That time they were costing about 90 or around 90, 80, 100.
Yeah.
And they bought two.
So you're talking about plots how big?
Well, that one was 80 by 40.
80 by 40.
80 by
Oh
40.
my
Not even a
goodness.
quarter.
It's not even a quarter of an acre. And
Yeah.
Utawala is
It's
like far.
It's according to us, it was really really far because that time not like now when they have this how do you call it, this highway
Bypasses,
yeah.
yes.
Then
It
you
was
had
just
to
the
really get
bundus, the
matatus.
bark of beyond, yeah.
Exactly, and even Masais had built manyatas around that.
So give us an
area.
example. So you bought them in Utawala,
Yeah.
you bought them plots, you bought yourself, and how much were the plots?
So when I bought mine, when I sold mine later on, I mean they were about 80 to 120.
When you
There are
bought them.
different,
So you
prices.
bought yours at 80,000.
Yes, yeah, and I
Okay.
bought 4 of them.
And you bought 4
They
of them.
bought 2. My other sister bought 1. My other one bought 1. And when we were selling them, we actually were selling them. For mine, I got very good prices. They were 250.
250,000.
Yeah.
So you bought at 80,000,
Yes, exactly.
250,000,
Yeah.
and there are 4 of
There are
them.
4 of them.
So wait, so that's
yeah.
times 4, 250.
Yes. For
Uh-huh.
the first time in my life, I had $1 million.
A
in my
million
hands.
Kenya shillings.
Yes, in my hands.
Wait. So listen, you have never earned more than 45,000 shillings. And you are holding $1 million Kenya shillings tax-free,
Tax-free.
owing nobody any money.
Yeah.
Okay, just look
Not
at
the
that
bank.
rich neighbor of yours, that rich-looking neighbor of yours. Ask them, have you held $1 million Kenya shillings that you didn't steal from anybody? And it was not a loan from a bank. Cash, despite your big salary. This is what you're saying. My goodness.
God is good.
So you did that and you continued to increase.
Yeah.
Your siblings as well began to do the same thing.
Exactly.
I know you as a family now even invest together.
Yeah,
But you're not talking about big amounts.
No,
I mean,
no.
how much do you guys save when you save together?
As a family, actually, we all give every month 1,000 shillings. And all this we've been buying now plots and also on Kangundo Road. Also, they're costing about 110, 150. So we're also doing that. We're investing there. And I don't think one needs to have a lot of money.
Well, because I've had people saying, at the end when I balance my budget, I only have like 2,000 shillings extra left. That's so little. Let me just buy a Java coffee and make myself feel good. One day when I have some real serious money, you've heard guys say that, isn't it? One day when I have a real salary, when I have real income, I can really invest. I mean, you're saying 2,000 shillings is
Actually, 2,000 is a lot of money.
Significant.
Yeah, because like now when we're buying these plots, some of them you can keep taking. You don't have to have the whole 80,000. You can take this month 15,000. Next month you can take 2,000. The least I've ever paid on
one of
and I
those
still get a receipt of
installments.
1,500.
So even
And I still
1.5
got
you
a
can
receipt.
actually take.
Yeah, and then at the end of it, they give you a certificate. And my first one is actually here.
Oh, you brought us to show us. Show and tell.
Yeah, but this one of them.
This is one of the ones, your first plots.
Yes, yeah, my first one.
Let me just show them, because some of these guys have never owned.
It's not a title deed.
This is what it looks like.